Hello everybody, I'm Hawaiian Hillbilly. Welcome to another live stream. You guys know the routine. I need to set up my laptop right quick. I need to be able to monitor chat. As you can see, we're going to be playing Farming Simulator 22. Let's see, let me type out a message right quick. Okay. All right, there we go. Message posted. All right. Now, let's get on in here and see how it goes. And we're playing on Calmlands. And I want to just check something right quick. Everything should be good to go. I did download a couple of mods. We're getting ready to take a look at one here in just a minute. I just want to double check and make sure that I have it activated. Yeah, that one's activated. I overlooked one of them. Where is it at? I just want to make sure that it's activated before I go in. It should be, because the other one is, but I just want to confirm it. Where is it? There it is. Yep, it's activated. Okay. Now this is a really cool mod. I saw a YouTube video about this mod, about both of them actually. I'll show both of them to you. We might experiment. We might just do an experiment to start with. I think I want to do an experiment to start with. So we'll enter the game. We're going to try something, and then we might exit the game without saving it. So let's do this. We're going to be sleeping till the next day. Now, we're going to be harvesting our sunflowers. That's what we're going to be doing. But before we do that, I want to go take a look at this mod that I got. I'm not sure if it'll work the way I want it to. It's a water tank mod. I don't really have to use it. I'm just trying to figure out how it works. So it's just an experiment. If it doesn't work the way I'm hoping it will, then I will, we're going to move this. I will just exit the game. We're just going to park this right here for now because I want to look at, what do I want to look at? Let's go down here. We want to look at buildings, and we want to go to container right here. Let's open up the container menu. And let's see, I think it's under here. That's not it. Fast water filling. It is a water tank. It may not be under here. It's not. It's under production. Production, factories. There we go. Because it works like a factory. See this water tank right here on the end? It's a water distributor. What I want to know is if I put this over here. I'm trying to figure out someplace I can put it. Well, I don't think I'm going to like that. Because you have to fill this with water. I was hoping I could just put it right here next to this thing right here and it would fill, but it's not going to work that way. I'm going to have to put it like back here like this. And I don't think that's going to be close enough to that free water. So we're going to do something different. I'm not going to use that one. What am I going to use? We're going to go buildings. We're going to go to silo extensions. And we're going to go right here. This automatic water for animals and greenhouses. This is under silo extensions. We're going to take this. We're going to move it right over here between these buildings, these two greenhouses. We're just going to get it to where we can get it. Let's just change the alignment just a little bit. Just like that. Okay, we'll put that right there. Sorry guys, I had to sneeze. I feel like I need to again, but anyway, now here we go. Now let's go look at this. I want to show you what we ended up with, okay? So this is it's under silo extensions, and it gives water, it provides water automatically to whatever is in the radius where it's at. It has to be within a certain distance. I wanted to look at that blue tank because the blue tank acts like a factory. You can put it anywhere on your map and it will distribute water for you where you want it. But let's look at the greenhouses. Look here. Look how much water is in this greenhouse. 1,019,918 liters. Because we already had 20,000 liters in it. We just added 1 billion liters of water. And it filled up all our greenhouses. 1 billion liters. So we don't ever have to worry another 1 billion liters. 1 billion liters. Let's make sure we got all of them with 1 billion, yep. So all our greenhouses now have 1 billion liters of water. Now, I don't know if they share that 1 billion liters. So, you know, they're each drawing from that 1 billion at the same time. I'm not sure how that works. It doesn't matter, because even if they are, we'll never run out of water. If you watch the last episode, in the beginning of the episode, we had to sleep through like 4 months, and it ran our greenhouses out of water, so they stopped producing. That will never happen again. But wait, I want to put my truck back where it belongs. We won't be using the truck anymore, but it's going to park over here. We're just going to let it sit. So I'm going to back it in there this time instead of driving it in, because it's full. So we're just going to let it sit right here beside this little free water thing. Let's back it up just a little bit more. Okay. Let us out inside the greenhouse. That's okay. Doesn't matter. So we really don't even need this on here now, but we're going to leave it there. And we'll just leave the truck sit there. We can always drop the tank off that truck and leave it sit there. And get a different, like a different bed for the truck if we wanted to. We could put like a dump truck. You know what? Let me look at something. Let's check something out right quick. Let's see. This would be under cars, I think. Under car, is it under cars? Let's see if I can, actually let's do this. Let's go to our garage, yeah, under cars. Let's look at combinations. See, we can get one of these, we can get these over here. I think we can get like a, see that dump truck bed right there? I think that's what we want right there. Yeah, because we can put all these different grains in here. What is this one? See, this holds 10,000. Well, it'll hold up to 108. Wow. I didn't realize that. What is this? This will hold up to, oh my gosh. Is that even bigger? Maybe not, but I think maybe that's the way to go. So let's do this. Let's buy this. Let's, Unreal capacity. Not that we need it, but we're going to do it. Then lighting will be both strobes. Yeah, we'll put strobes on it. It'll be okay. Attachers. What does that say? Fixed. Adjustable. Fixed. Adjustable. I'm okay with adjustable. We're not going to need it. Cover. Yep. Okay, main color. We want to go to purple. Okay, and then design color. I'm not sure what it changes with the design color. Let's see. We'll go with a vulture green. Yeah, there we go. And then license plate. Okay, so we're going to buy this right here. We're looking at $30,000, but that's quite okay. We're going to use this for taking care of our chickens with. So we're going to go over there. Let's get back in our truck. Just doing some preliminary stuff right here, guys, so we can get it taken care of before we get into harvesting. Let's go get back in our truck. I'm going to leave the water tank off the back of this truck, sit where it's at. Or at least, maybe not exactly where it's at, but to sit right over in here, I want to move just a little bit because I need to be able to get this. I think if I'm too close to the building, it's not going to sit properly. Let's see what happens if I try to disengage. I'm okay with it sitting just like that. So we're just going to leave that tank sit there. We're going to go pick up this other bed for this truck. Over here at the dealership. And then we're going to use it for putting grain in for feeding our chickens. Although we set it up, it'll hold a lot more grain than what we need for the chickens. There we go. In fact, we might try an experiment with this later on because, you know, the bed on this thing may now hold all the soybeans that we get off this field. I'm not sure how much it'll hold. Might be interesting to find out. So we might do that instead of using our tractor trailer. Sorry guys, I had to yawn. That's part of live streaming for me. So we can just park this over here. Now we have 2 trucks with unreal capacity. I should have gone and changed my the wheel color on the truck, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it there for now. So let's just do this now. Now we're ready to start harvesting. So I think one of the things I want to do is I have the days of month, the number of days per month set to 2. And I want to change that back to 1. So let me see if I can figure out exactly where that's at. It should be on this menu, but it might not be on this one. It might be on the next one. It might be up here. Time scale, real time, days per month. We're going to put that back to 1. Okay? Now, let's save it. Just because we did, I'll tell you, at the end of the last live stream, I almost shut my PlayStation down and forgot to save it, or almost exited and forgot to save it. Because I'm in a real bad habit of going through the entire game or the entire episode and not saving the game. So I would have lost all my work. Now I've got this thing ready to go. This is a modded corn header. It does sunflowers, and it will. It has the tool height adjustment on it, so it will harvest at the full speed of the equipment, which is 12 miles an hour instead of 6 miles an hour. So we're going to do this, and then we'll just, it won't take long to harvest this field, and it's weird for me right now harvesting at this kind of speed, because I am not used to that. But it really was nice on the big field. If you watch the last live stream, you know we were on that big soybean field. And we were able to get that field done much quicker. We saved almost an hour and a half. Oh, why? That's weird. Look at that. It doesn't even want to go up the hill. Wow. So I got a little close to the edge of the field right here. That's a little weird. That might be why there's a little, it leaves like a blank spot, like when you cultivate it and you want to plant and stuff like that. There's a little problem right in that corner. It's a little bit odd. Now we're just going to turn it loose, let the helper do it. And just let the helper run. And now we're harvesting sunflowers. We're going to put corn in here next time, or we'll replant it this time with corn. Sorry guys, had to yawn again. It's going on midnight where I live. So I thought that was a pretty cool water app, or a mod. Now that water tank that I was looking at, you have to fill it with water. It does not come with water already in it, or at least that's what I gathered from the YouTube video I saw that was showing it. They said you had to fill it. It would take a long time to fill with 1 billion gallons of water. So I was going to see if I could put it beside that water pipe. We're going to end up having to do some work in the dark, guys. Well, we're going to get this field harvested, and then we're going to do something. I got to do something. I got to put this back like it was. We're going to put it back on 2 days, because after we get through harvesting, we're going to go sleep until the next day. In fact, we may go do that. We may have to do that before we even finish. The helper can harvest in the dark. So while this guy's working on that, let's go. All right, come on, what's going on? Why is it not? Oh, I dropped the wrong thing. Why did it drop that? That's weird. I'm not sure why it set itself up for that right there. We're going to grab this trailer. We don't need the big tractor trailer or a other pickup. We may use the setup that we just got. That new bed on our truck, our pickup truck. We may try that out on that big soybean field, see how it works, but we don't really need it over here either. I really just got it for the purpose of, I guess we might as well we can just kind of wait right here we don't really need to go, well, I'm going to be in the way if I get over here. So we'll just go ahead and come up here. Now thankfully we do not have to worry about that harvester, the helper, pulling out into this neighboring field right here and start harvesting that, because the harvester will only harvest one crop type at a time. But if it had a different tool, if we were using something else, if we were planting, cultivating, we would have to worry about it. And I wish you could kind of decide for yourself, like when you fast travel between vehicles, which ones it goes to. That one's going to work out for us. Because we can just go one direction, one click, and we are in the vehicle that we want, which is good. And you can see we're working on the side of the hill. None of the ground on this map is flat like you think it is. Some places they kind of look flat, but they're really not. That's on a hill. It runs uphill. But as you can see, we're working much faster, 12 miles an hour, instead of the 6 that it would work at before. Now the only thing I'd like better is to be running lengthwise down this field. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change the direction of this guy. I should, in fact, from now on I probably will. I got to remember I got to come down that side right there. because I want to come this way, because eventually I'll be going the full length of the field. Look, so it'll be running back and forth the full length of the field. I'm going to come back and catch this while I'm here. This was off enough to miss one row. Whoops, put that down. Now the other header, it would automatically lower when I hit the when I turned it on. There we go. Now let's see if it can figure out where to start at. It looks like it might. See that it's got that heel. Okay, let me see what's going on here. Okay. Now you can see how that was acting right there. This is what was giving me problems before. I want to make sure I get this in the right spot this time. It needs to be this way. I'll let it overlap just a little bit. It'll be okay. So it'll start back here like this. There we go. Now we'll just let it run. It should be back on track. And it's making a much longer run now. And this is the way I like to do them when I'm using a helper. Well, even when I'm, operating the equipment myself, I like to run it lengthwise, so long direction across the field, simply because it has to make less turns, and therefore the job gets done faster, because you spend less time turning around. And that, as you can see, it's still not the full length of the field like this, and we could go the full length of the field, but at least we are going a longer length of the field. We might let's take a look at something. Let's get rid of this guy. Let's look at going this way. What is that going to do for us? That's actually going to get us working on an even longer length. So let's see what we got here. If we do it like this, let's see that. Let's try this. Yeah, I'm going to have to come back and catch that little strip right there. I didn't really have it lined up right. That's okay. We'll just go back and catch it. No, it's not, like I said, it's not that big a deal. And now this will get us going the full length of the field once it gets farther out into the work area. There we go. Yep. Now we have a nearly full grain tank. Now, as you can see, working this way, we're going to end up getting the longest possible direction of work on this field. That hill back there causes some problems. So let's hop in our truck right here. Let's get ourselves kind of ready. I said truck, but I forgot that we jumped over into our tractor with the trailer. We just want to get over here and get ready to empty this thing. It's not quite ready to be emptied yet, but it will be soon. So we just kind of want to be in position to do that. Yep. Alright. Well, that's kind of dark. You can't really see that going in there. Now we were using this trailer to just put grain in for our chickens. But now we have the other truck we can use for that purpose. 8,500 liters is what the harvester holds. I keep forgetting how much capacity different things have. So we'll jump back on board with this guy now. See how it goes. Because all we're going to do is ride along. Now, if you watched the last episode, when I did my big field, you saw we had 5 different operations going on at the same time. But we won't do that on this field. We'll do everything one at a time. Right now I'm just wanting to get this field harvested, and then we will go sleep until the next day. And then we will do the fertilizing, cultivating, and replanting. And it should cover this field fairly quickly. Well, I mean, it's going to cover this field twice as fast as it did before. We still got, see, we don't have that much more to go. It's not that big of a field. It's not, I mean, it's not a real big field. Now, we may have to help it when it gets over on the other side, simply because of the shape of the field. We're just going to have to look and see how that works, but I'm probably going to have to help it. That's kind of why I was working this field in the direction I first started working in, because I know from that direction that the helper can cover the entire field without me having to help. And I'll show you what I mean by having to help it here in a minute. Well, in a few minutes, not in a minute. It's going to be a few minutes before it gets there. But I'll show you what I mean. And it has to be done with every field, that if the shape of that field is like this one, not all of them are. The big field is. And we're going to change the shape a bit. I'm going to cut some trees down, and I'm going to extend that field just a little bit. I would really like to have a field that does $1 million worth of grain. And my soybean field will do that if I expand it just a little bit. If you saw the last live stream, we harvested the big field, and we got 955,000 liters of soybean. the time before that, which was the first time that we had planted that field, when we harvested it, we got $808,000 worth of soybeans. And then, so like I said, the last time, which was in the last episode, we actually got, we could have just plowed this under right here, but I'm going to just go ahead and get it because I'm here. It was like only one sunflower plant that it didn't pick up, but I would rather it go ahead and get all of it. We could have just cultivated it under. It wouldn't have mattered. Alright, we're off and running again. Now, as you can see, we're working on the longest possible runs across this field. And that means that's less times that this thing has to turn around. It looks like it's going to be a little bit, it's going to miss a little bit down here at the end again. Because of the way it's turning around and the way it starts, the beginning of each row is a little bit weird. So I may have to help it yet again. Yep. See, it missed again because it's starting while it's still in a turn. It's not actually positioning itself. It's wanting to start working while it's still actually in a turn, and I'm not sure why it keeps doing that, but it does keep doing that. So we'll work with what we have to. But yeah, I like working in the long direction. But like I said, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about as far as having to help it when it finishes. Because there's a curve in the edge of this field. And on the left-hand side as we're looking at it right now. Over on the left, it kind of arches around the other field. It curves around the edge of the other field. And they won't follow the curve. The helpers only work in straight lines. So they won't follow the curve, so it's going to think it's done. It may work out okay. I don't know yet. I can't really tell until we get down at the other end. If it goes all the way down, picks all that up, and then comes back up, it may work. We'll have to see. If it does, that'll be good. I hope it does. Even if it doesn't, I can just maneuver it, you know, manually, and then finish up the field, yeah. But I'm kind of hoping, I am hoping that it is able to do it itself, but like I said, they will only work in straight lines, so it depends on where that straight line falls. I have got lucky on one of my other fields I was doing. I got lucky, and it worked out perfectly. This one is not going to work out perfectly. You can see if you look at the left-hand edge of this field, watch it as we go by. You can see the curve in that field right there. So it's going to do this little bump right here to the left, but then it's still going to have that whole section up at the top. Well, I already did part of that, but still, the curve is going to be too steep. It's going to think it's done when it's not done. I think that's what's going to happen. We'll see. Like I said, we might get lucky, but I don't think we're going to get lucky. That's why originally I started working on this direction, because if I go this direction across the field, I know it will do the whole field, and I don't have to intervene. I don't have to help it. But we will soon be in the position to where I can show you what I mean by having to help it. If you watch my last live stream, then you kind of know what I'm talking about, how the edge of the field is curved and it doesn't recognize that there's still more to be done. It thinks it's finished. And I just can't tell yet. I don't think it'll work. I think I will have to help it. You know, and that's not that big a deal. If I have to help it, I have to help it. All right, we're almost full. There's the headlights. Helper said he's working in the dark. We're going to have to go this way. We'll just wait right here until he sticks that pipe out, because he will in just a second. Because it was almost full. There we go. Barely got it underneath there. That's okay. It's under there enough that it's collecting. Now, I don't know if we can actually get all of this crop in this one trailer full. We might not. We may have to go dump this and come back and get the rest of our grain. What do we have left over here? But we'll try it. We'll see if we can get it all in here or not. I don't know if we can. We can just park this like this. Thankfully, the helpers can work at night. We could work at night manually if we want to, but there's really no point. Oh, sorry guys, had to yawn. 12:20 where I live, 12:20 in the morning. Now, you can see a little bit better as we're headed down here. You see the narrow part of the field where the grass is, the edge of the field is curved right there. So we're going to make one more pass up to the top of the field, and then it's going to harvest all that up there. It will harvest that up there and think it's done. There will still be one little spot right here on the edge. Whatever this misses on this path, you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a second. Once this thing gets turned around, where's it going? Where's it going? I'm trying to figure out what this thing's doing. Now, if it comes all the way, we want to bring it all the way back. The way that thing turned, it actually did. It caught the very edge right there beside us. It caught that edge right there as it was turning, which allowed it. It would have actually been able to go all the way over there. If it had just backed up a little bit farther, we would have got lucky and it would have done the whole thing. Just because it caught that last row, maybe two rows, as it was turning, it caught it. And I thought we were going to really get lucky, but then it didn't back up far enough. But that's still that's not bad. So it still basically did cover the whole field without, well, I had to help it. So I was hoping I wouldn't have to. And I could have run the other direction, this direction that I originally was working in, and I would not have had to help it. It would have done the whole field by itself and not missed any. Because that's how I was doing it previously. So I'll probably go back to that later on, although it gets done faster if you do it like I said. If you run the length of the field, it has to turn around less time. And it just saves time, because if it's not turning around, it's harvested. So the more times it has to turn around, that's more time without harvesting. And I hope that makes sense. Now see, thankfully, it cannot harvest two crop types at the same time, because it would have just pulled out there in the edge of that field and cut it down. If this had been a plow, cultivator, planter, it would have just took off across that field and started destroying the crop that was already in it. So that is one nice thing about the harvester, the fact that it can only hold one grain type at a time. Now it won't take another minute or so. Yeah, we are not going to be able to fit all our grain, which doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. If we need to, we will we'll just drive the harvester down to the silo and empty it, what's left in it. Because we park down that way anyway. I don't normally leave the header attached to the harvester up here. Sorry guys. Every time I do live streams, I just yawn and yawn and yawn. I don't know why, but there's something about doing live streams. Of course, I am doing them like early hours of the morning. But still, even if I did them at 10 o'clock in the morning, I still just yawn and yawn and yawn. So I'm thinking we'll get 2 fields done. We need more fields. And that's something I'm going to have to look at fairly quickly. Pretty soon. I'm at a place now to where I want to maintain a minimum balance in our bank account at $1 million. We have 1.5 million right now. So I'm wanting to maintain a minimum balance of $1 million. And then after the next time we do our soybean field, our big field, that I will increase the minimum balance to 2 million. Or maybe I will. We'll see. Okay, so this guy, now let's see, what do we want to do? I can just, now let's go see if our trailer will hold the rest of this crop that's in here. I don't think it will. I do not think all the grain will fit in there, but we'll see. It might be close. It might be close. Let's just see. Will it take all of it? No, it left 3%. Oh, well, all right. All we can do is do what we have to. So we're just going to go set this over here. I'm just going to set it down over here. Now, we'll go empty this first, and then we'll come back and get our trailer and go empty it. Like I said, we don't normally park the harvester where we had it at the beginning of the episode, because I just took it over. I knew that's where I was going to be using it when I finished that big soybean field, because the sunflowers was already, they were ready to be harvested. I just didn't want to harvest them on that live stream. I wanted to wait until this one. So I just went and parked it over there where I knew I was going to use it, had it ready to go. So now we can just go ahead and we can just come in here, just like this. There we go. Drive down here just to do that, but that's okay. Oh, I hit my stop sign again. Oh. Where is it? Where's my stop sign? I thought that stop sign was over here. There it is. Let me get this thing picked up. Let's see. I always like to do this after I run over it. I like to not that. It was supposed to stand. It did not stand. So let me see what I can do. Let's see if I can get it over here like this. Raise it up just a little bit. Well, now I'm having a little bit of trouble getting it where I want it. Now let's see if I can rotate it. There we go, just a little bit. There we go. That's what I want. Lean it up against that building. I like doing that. It doesn't matter. It's not really necessary. It's going to respawn after the end of this episode, and I save it, exit out, and then come back in. It's going to respawn back in its original position. We normally keep this thing parked right here. Let's see, I might as well go ahead and pick up this header. This also is the tool height header. I swapped it out on the last episode. For the original header. And I also did the same thing with the corn header, because we had a corn header. There we go. Now we'll go dump this. Yeah, I swapped out both headers for the tool height adjusted one because it works faster. Now our goal, if you have not watched any of the other live streams, our goal on this map is to fill this silo and silo extension with 100 million liters of grain. We're nowhere near that, trust me. We have a little over, well, we don't have 200,000 liters of grain yet. We'll take a look here in a second and see where we're at. So we'll go ahead and get this thing up here. We'll park it. We'll take a quick look and see how much grain we have. We won't do the exact math. We'll just get a rough idea of what we got so far. We need the cultivator. But before we use the cultivator, we will be using the fertilizer spreader. But let's take a look at something. Let's go up here to money. Nope, not money, sorry, right here. So we have 34, 34, yeah, see? So that's 70, 90, 100, 118, 180. We have 200,000. So yeah, we have 200,000 liters of grain. And we need 100 million, that's our goal. And we have 200,000. Okay, so we're just going to sleep until the next day. We'll sleep until 9 o'clock because we're coming on winter months. We want it to be daylight. And then we will go back and we will reset. See, we're still, now it's October 2nd. It was October 1st. Now we're going to come back in here. And we are going to come back down here. And we want to go back to 1 day months, okay? And then let's just do this. Let's leave it sit right there, but let's save it. Like I said, I'm in a bad habit of not saving the game until I get done. And then I almost forget to save it. So now we can get our fertilizer spreader. We'll go fertilize that field. Then we'll cultivate it. Whoa, that was... Boy, that thing all of a sudden just oversteered. Oh, I know why, too. I got that fertilizer spreader lowered. I don't need it lowered. It was dragging on the ground. I kind of wondered what in the heck's going on. I always waste some of the fertilizer. As you guys have seen any of my other episodes where I'm spreading fertilizer. Because I'm always a little too closer to the edge of the field than what I really have to be. But it seems like if I try to get it right on the edge, I always end up getting a little too far away from the edge. And I skip some and I have to come back. So I just assume it doesn't matter if I overlap this wall. Man, I just saw a sunflower stalk that we missed. So it'll just get cultivated under. I did not know we'd missed that though, or I would have just went ahead and got it. But it doesn't matter. One stalk is not going to hurt us that much. One sunflower. Now I used to use this fertilizer spreader and do both layers of fertilizer using it. That's how I preferred to do it, instead of using the planter or seeder that will do both. But now I like using the equipment that does both the seeds and the fertilizer. I didn't used to like doing that because it's a lot faster to do it this way. But what I realized is that it doesn't really matter. If I use the seeder and the planter that does both, then when it gets done seeding, it's finished fertilizing too, and I don't have to come back. So it really does save me one step. I don't have to do the same thing twice. So now we're ready to cultivate. Easy, easy. I get to going too fast. I get to going too fast. Okay, now we'll just get over here. We got our cultivator. Now, where you saw the harvester struggle just a little bit on the edge of the field, this cultivator will too. We just drop it down, we'll start cultivating right here. We'll run a headland row. Now I'll have to go all the way around this field. I'd love to be able to just turn this thing loose when we get up here, but I think it'll cause us problems over on the other edge next to that other crop, because this will cut straight across, go right into our other field and start cultivating, destroying the crop that we have in it, in that field. So you really have to pay attention to what's going on. With the harvester, you don't have to watch it quite as much, because it won't do that. It won't go destroy your other field. But this right here will. The cultivator will, the plow will, even the seeder or the planter, it will pull right out into a field that's already got crop growing in it, and it will start planting a new crop. Right, it just destroys your field. So I want to make sure I have a good headland row around the edge. I should have like 2 headland rows, just to make sure I have enough distance between these 2 fields. I think 1 will be sufficient. I'm trying to stay as close to the edge as I can, not overlapping it too much, because I want to make sure I'm as far away from that other crop as possible. I don't really want to run 2 headland rows. I should turn around. In fact, I might do that when I get right here. I think I'll turn around. I'll come back and catch, I'll go back up the other way. Yeah, because I don't need 2 on this side, but I should have a second one over here, just to help protect it from Yeah, there we go. This will make sure I'm far enough away that it won't be pulled. This helper will not pull out into that other field and start working, or at least I hope. That is what I'm hoping. I get this little bit of extra distance, and it should be okay. There's plenty of room there for this tractor to be able to bring the cultivator out of this field before the front of the tractor enters the neighboring field, because that's the problem. It will pull out, and if it's working at the right angle, or if those two fields are too close together, and I have had them too close together before. Let's see, that's okay. This is not the direction I want to go. I actually want to go this way. So we'll get rid of that helper. We'll get him turned around this way. I think I want to work. Yeah, this will be the length of the field. Actually, that's not even going to be the length of the field, is it? No, it's not. Really, I should go the other way. Probably should be going this other direction. Let me check something right quick, guys. I probably should be going something like this, maybe. I can't remember. I think maybe this direction. It's really hard for me to tell which direction I really want to go. Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'm getting myself confused as to which direction I actually want to take this in. Let's just back it up. Well, I kind of like the idea of going this direction. I think. Like this. But I would have to be way out here like this. Let's try it. Let's just see what we can do. Let's just try it like this. Let's see what happens. I like working in directions where the helper can actually navigate the edges of the field. And when you use curved edges, like I do on this map, the helper just can't do it. So you always have to help the helper. And that's still not the direction I want to be going. I want to be running this way. I want to be running that way. So I need to be up here. I was in the right spot. I just didn't realize it right here. Yeah, I should have been over here. I just didn't realize that's where I really wanted to be. Is that right? Or do I want to be going this direction? This one. It gets confusing as to, you know, where am I going to end up if I go this way? I think this is the one, because I want to be going up towards the road up here. And I can't remember which actual side I was working the harvester on. I think it was on this side like this. So at this point, we're just going to let it run. I'm not going to keep messing around with it. If I could just do the whole thing myself, I would just go in circles. I would just keep following the edge of the field, and I wouldn't make any turns. So the entire time I would be actually cultivating instead of making all these turns. But the arthritis in my hands makes it hard for me to hang on to the controller for that long. I need to set it down so I can like stretch my hands a little bit and work some of that stiffness out. And that's why this is one of my favorite games, really, because I can set the controller down and I'm still advancing within the gameplay itself because the helper is doing the work for me. Now we may have to help it figure out what it's doing when it gets over on the other edge, just like we had to with the harvester. We'll see how it works out. But as you can see, now we're going the length of the field, which is better. It is better. It will have to make less turns than if we were going crosswise, like I was doing it before. Now we could go ahead and we could grab our planter and we could go ahead and start planting. But on these small fields, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to finish so quickly that the live stream turns out to be like really short. Because if I'm going to do a live stream that's less than an hour long, I could just make a video. PlayStation only allows 59-minute, 59-second videos. They don't allow, you can't even hit the 1 hour mark. 59 minutes, 59 seconds. And that's what I like about live streaming, because there are times when what I want to accomplish will take more than an hour. And I don't want to make multiple videos. It was always difficult for me to find a place when I was experimenting, first learning a little bit about making videos and stuff. I started a second YouTube channel just to put games on, and that's why on some of my games, it'll show my username up at the top, my PlayStation username, Rat Trapper Farms. Because that's the email address I was using for for this PlayStation account that I have, and it actually puts that username on the screen, even though I'm Hawaiian Hillbilly. But I registered, when I first registered my PlayStation account, I really used the wrong email address. So I may end up changing that when I renew. I may renew my PlayStation account under a different name using my Hawaiian Hillbilly email address. So at least it has my name, the Hawaiian Hillbilly, linked to the PlayStation, which I can link it back to this YouTube account. But I got to be careful. I don't want to like mess something up. So I'm usually pretty cautious about making changes to things, because it really doesn't matter to me what email address my PlayStation account is linked to. Not necessarily, it really doesn't, because it all works out the same. But I did notice on one of my other games I was playing that it had the Rat Trapper Farms. My original internet name was Rat Trapper 30 years ago. Rat Trapper was a title character of a story that I wrote. But because I lived in Hawaii for 13 years, I lived in Honolulu and Waikiki, and I live in hillbilly land now, in the coal fields of Southwest Virginia, the Appalachian Mountains. I came up with Hawaiian hillbilly. And I wear a big long white beard, although I just shaved it off. I'm going to regrow it because I singed part of it trying to light a propane heater. I've never used a propane heater before, and one of my friends brought one over, and I was trying to light it for the very first time, and I got the gas turned on, and then my lighter wouldn't strike, and it took a couple clicks, and by then it built up enough of those propane fumes that it's actually singed about 3 inches of the bottom of my beard. So I tried to trim it and everything, and you know, I got it trimmed a little bit, and then I left it like that, but I wasn't really happy with it. So just a couple days ago, I just went ahead and shaved my beard completely off, and I'll just regrow it. Now here's where we have a problem, because you can see right here, we're going to make one more pass, and this cultivator is this guy's going to think he's done. And he's still going to have this whole big section of field down there simply because of the way this curve is. So it does make it more curved edges on fields, make those fields more difficult for the helper. So if you're going to do curved edges on your fields like I do on this map, then you have to be prepared that you're going to have to help the helper. The helper's going to think it's done when it's not. But I've got used to doing that. Now on, you know, on most of the maps, they already have fields, and you just buy the field and it's already in a particular, whatever shape it's in or whatever. But like on this map, there's no predetermined field design, so you design all your own. Same thing I like on No Man's Land. On No Man's Land, I like running square and rectangular shaped fields. But for some reason on this map, I did not like the idea of running the square and rectangular shaped fields. This map seems so appropriate for the odd shaped fields with curved edges and stuff like that. Now see, this guy's going to think he's done. Or is he? Is he going to surprise me? Whoa. Whoa. This guy, is he going to start over? Yep. Hey, how about that? How about that? It recognized, maybe because I had it, well, I don't know why it did that. I'm surprised that it did that, but I'm glad it did that. Because that means in the future, I know that as long as I run a couple of headland rows, I run one all the way around, run a second pass on this side just to separate the two fields a little bit, then I can let this guy go, and it looks like he's going to do okay. That's very good. So we will run the planter. We'll do the same technique with the planter. We will have to pay attention at the end to see, like, when it gets over here, will it do what this one just did? Because the planter itself is a different dimension. This cultivator covers an area of a length of 8.3 meters, and the planter is only 6 meters. So it may not work out exactly the same on this edge. We may, in fact, have to help it. I don't know. But it is nice to know that with the cultivator, it looks like we might get away. I might have figured out how to go about running this thing the long length of the field, and this thing actually worked. Simply because of the length of the cultivator had it in the right position. I think if it had been any other operation, it would not have worked out the way it did. I think we got really lucky, and I'm okay with that. I am definitely okay with that. Now I gotta tell you guys, if you have any ideas on how to get chat to be more active, then leave me a comment. Let me know what your suggestion might be. Sorry, I had to yawn again, guys. It's 1 o'clock in the morning where I live. But I am wanting to, my hope is to have an active chat room. And I don't know how to go about getting an active chat room, especially when it's a very small channel. So there's not that many, I don't have that many subscribers. So people aren't just like waiting for me to do a live stream. And I don't really know how to like announce that I'm going to be doing a live stream at a certain time or anything like that. And I really can't just say, hey, I'm going to be doing live stream every Thursday at midnight. I can't really do that because I don't necessarily know if that's what's going to happen or not. For the most part, I am doing them later at night. But I was experimenting at trying to do them like some at different times of the day, just to see when more people might be available. And I haven't had that much difference. I've never had more than one person in chat at a time. A couple of those people, all they wanted me to do was to stop live streaming and go invite them to join and play multiplayer. And obviously I was not going to do that. I mean, they were people that didn't even bother to say hello. They just come in and just immediately, hey, go create a room and invite me to join it. We'll play together. And it's like, no. You know, I don't know why people would think that anybody doing a live stream was just going to stop doing their live stream to go do that. I don't understand the mentality of some people. I would never do that to somebody. All right, this guy was able to complete this whole field, so it worked out pretty good. Now we will go get our planter. and we will go plant some corn. Now, I do have to be careful. I do have to be careful. That's our seeder right there, that red machine with the white top. But we're not going to be using it. We're going to use this other machine over here. I want to make sure. Oops, I went one too far. Corn. I forget to change that quite often, and I end up planting a crop that I didn't intend to plant. So at least that time I remembered. Now we're just going to start right here. We'll just start right here. We're going to go just like we did before. We'll go one time around, and then we'll go back up. Now this is a different operating width, so this guy may not be able to actually do the whole field. We're going to find out. This will be the first time we've done this test to see what happens, because this is the first time I've ever worked this field in the actual direction that I'm working it. It's the direction I should be working it, or I want to work it in. But because I found another direction that actually would work the entire field, I had not previously been doing it that way. But it's good to experiment with different things and see how it works out for you. It's kind of hard to see exactly where the edge of that field is with that shadow on top of it right there. It makes it a little bit dark. And I want to work as close to that edge as I can. I'm overlapping it, as you can see, a little bit. You can see those spots that look funny right there. You can see right here, look. It skipped this whole section. I'm going to try it just to see if it'll catch this, if I do it this way. There's just something about the edge of this field. It has little bumps in it and stuff. So I want to see if I can catch these, because they're not planted. There won't be anything growing there if I don't catch it. So it's kind of a bummer that you have to do this. But it is what it is. Now hopefully, I don't know, there may be some more spots up here that I have to catch. We just have to watch, and if I see that it skipped a spot, I'm going to have to go back and catch it. But I think maybe that was the only place where it actually did that. I only recall that there was one place on the edge of the field that did that. So I think it should catch everything else okay. But I did remember that there was one place that it was messed up on the edge there by those trees. I'm a little bit surprised that just by changing the direction, I was actually able to catch those spots. It seems like once before I tried to catch that spot and it wouldn't work. I couldn't get it to catch. Now it doesn't hurt to be overlapped just a little bit here. The thing about overlapping, as far as I am right there, is just that when it comes to finishing, how the alignment is going to work out, how the helper is going to like align on each row. So it's like how the spacing works out as to whether or not it can actually finish the field, like we just saw with the cultivator. It recognized where it needed to start that last run at. It realized it wasn't finished, and it backed all the way up to that start point. But I don't know if this will or not, and it could depend on how much I overlap the edge of that field, you know. I don't know that. We're just going to have to find out. Now again, this is just keeping us away from this other field over here, so that once we do have a helper running, the helper's not going to pull out into that field. Of course, I think the direction that we're going to send the helper in is going to keep it away from that edge where it doesn't run out into that field. But unlike the harvester won't destroy your other field. This cultivator, this planter, it'll pull right out into that field right there and start planting this crop. And that's a canola field. But it will pull right out into that canola field and start planting corn. And we do not want it to do that. Now this part up here doesn't really matter. It's not that critical, the overlapping. I'm trying to remember which. Okay, when I get down to this the next shift in direction, right down at the end of this right here, we want to turn and go the other way. And then we'll be running longwise across the field, and that's what we want. So once we get over here like this, now we can just let the helper go, and it's overlapped quite a bit, but I decided it doesn't really matter. I just want to get it headed in the right direction. Oh, look at that. It skipped that. Gosh. There's some kind of bump or something, and it doesn't look like it, but you can see how the field rolls up on the edge right there. So I'm going to have to come back and catch that spot. Wow. Yeah, I'll have to go back and catch that spot. What is he doing? Come on, what are you doing? So I do not remember having this problem before. So what we're going to do, I got to catch this spot, which means I have to do this like I did before. Let's get lined out. Oops, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot I fired the helper. I gotta turn the machine on. That's better. Trying to get this thing lined back up. And send the helper on his way again. There we go. All right. Now it shouldn't have any more problems, I hope. Now I can see that it's going to miss a little spot over here too that I'm going to have to fix. Right there. Simply because I just missed that edge. I'm going to let it go ahead and run all the way down to the end of the row. And now I'll back up and catch this little spot right here. I kind of knew that was going to happen. Alright. Now it should be able to just run by itself for a while. All right. Well, I'm not going the right direction. Well, it's okay. I should have been going that direction though, lengthwise. The, the long way of the field. Well, no, maybe this is the right way. I get confused. I get turned around as to what edge I need to be turning the helper loose on. And like I say, this is the first time I've done this field in this orientation with the helper. I've always run it crosswise the other way, the short way, because I know it'll do the whole field without my help. But we'll see how it works out. It doesn't matter as long as it all gets done. Yeah, it looks like we're going lengthwise. And that's what I want to do. I am very curious to see. Well, I can pretty well tell you that the helper with this particular instrument is not going to finish this field totally by itself. It's going to need help. It's just not going to do like the cultivator did. And I don't know if it's because I actually have it running at a different angle, or exactly why, or if it's just because it's smaller. But I can pretty much already see that I don't think it's going to work. So like I said, it's okay. It doesn't matter. At least I am running the length of the field, not the width. Now this will be our first planting of corn. We haven't done any corn yet, so once we harvest this field, we'll be introducing a new grain type. Well, not really grain. I call it a grain type. I don't know if corn is considered a grain though, but it'll be a new crop type that we will introduce to our silo, which will be cool. And then I think the only other crop type that I'm going to be doing is potatoes. We have not done potatoes yet. I'm not ready to do that yet. But those will be also be long live streams. Because I did a potato field on this map before, and while this guy's going, we can just take a look at it. We can pop up here to the map, and this section right here, this whole section I did in potatoes, all the way to this road right here. This whole section up on the top part I did in potatoes. And it seems to me like it took me about 6 hours real time to be able to harvest it and get it replanted. About 6 hours. The first time I did this field with soybeans, it took me 5.5 hours to do this field and get it replanted. The last time, we just did this in the last live stream, we did this field right here, and it took about 4.5 hours. So we started it and worked it a little bit differently by getting the I got everything started a little bit sooner, so it was able to finish sooner. So it's experimenting, you know, figuring out what's going on. And how I best want to go about approaching that field. We're going to make that field bigger, though. That big field that I was just showing you, we're actually going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to go cut some trees down. I may do that after this field is done. I may go down there and take some trees down and just get ready to expand that field. Although we're not going to expand it until after we harvest it the next time. Then we will expand it. But I might get like an edge figured out, what I want to do. I just want to expand it enough to where I can pick up an extra $50,000 worth of soybeans. So I can hit that $1 million mark. And it's not something I would have considered if we hadn't come so close in our last harvest with 955,000. I've always wanted to be able to do $1 million field, to harvest a $1 million field of soybeans. And I've never done that before, but we are so close. And there is enough room down there at the far end of that field that I can take some more of the trees out without taking all of them out, and I believe I can expand that field enough to get that extra $50,000. So I really want to try that. I just think it would be so awesome to have a $1 million field. So that's what we're going to try to do. So I may go cut the trees down at the end of this episode, just to have that done already. And I may even take my plow and plow up like an outline. We'll see. I'm not sure. But I will not be able to connect it to the existing field. I will not be able to connect the extension to the existing field until after I harvest. Actually, I'll harvest and I'll do my first layer of fertilizer, and then I can connect it, because when you do the grass, when you create a field in grass, you get 35-37% fertilization the first time from the grass. So you're not going to get 100%. You cannot get 100% the first time you do it. And I'm not getting 100% anyway. I'm getting like, because I'm not rolling it and stuff like that. So I've only ended up about the max I can get is like, sorry guys, gotta yawn again, 1:30 in the morning. About the most I can get is like 97%. But when you do it the first time, you only end up with about 85 to 87%, something like that. So the second time we did that soybean field, I actually ended up with almost like a 10% increase in the overall yield, which gave us, like I said, we increased our the selling value from 808,000 up to 955,000. So it was a big increase, much more than I thought it was going to be. I actually didn't think it would be even close to that. I thought it was going to end up being about $850,000. I knew it would be more because I had I had the bigger yield percentage. So I did know that I would make more money, but I really thought it was going to go from about 808 up to maybe 850, 870,000, something like that. I was not expecting 955. But because we did get that much of an increase, then I want to go ahead and expand that field a little bit, extend it. And we have space for it. And that's a good thing. I don't like taking trees out. I don't want to just clear all the trees. But I need space for the helper to work and stuff like that. So I always try to work trees only as necessary. Now see, I don't know why that guy missed that right there. I wish he would not have, because then I wouldn't have to take the time to do this. I guess maybe that point right there, the angle is just a little too steep. So now see, I'm thinking this guy is going to make one more pass, come back down on the road beside where he's at now, go back down to the bottom corner back behind us, and then stop. He's going to think that he's done. Now I thought that was the cultivator, and the cultivator backed on up to this area and you know, finished. We will see if the planter recognizes that it's not really done. It needs to back up and catch that final section of the field. We're going to see, because we're going to know. It's going to make one more pass. It's going to turn around. It's going to go back up to the other end, and we're going to find out. I think that it's going to stop when it gets to the other end. It's going to think it's done. That's what I'm anticipating it to do. We shall see. It's going to be interesting. It's always interesting when you're trying something new, just to see how it's going to work out. Actually, it might turn around. It's going to turn around and catch one little edge up here. It's going to have a little tiny bit left, a couple rows that it's not going to catch. Probably about 5 rows or something like that. You see how it's coming now. It's all been planted. So once it goes up to the end, turns around, and does this one little spot right here, it's going to think it's finished. It will not drive down. It won't just take off and go on down the rest of the road. It's going to think it's finished. At least that's what I'm anticipating. It's going to catch this one little spot right here. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it will just drive straight down, that it can look down there and see, oh, there's still some field down there that I've got to finish. I'm hoping it will do that. But that doesn't seem to be the way the helpers do. They don't recognize that. See? He's finished. Which is weird. You would think it could look right down here in front of it. It would know it really is not finished. But at least it was just a matter of driving on down. Just driving straight forward. It was already lined out the way we needed it to be and everything, so that wasn't too bad. Now, it's too bad that this doesn't work at the operating speed of the tractor itself. There used to be a drawbar in FS19. There was a drawbar you could use that would allow you to use equipment like this at the maximum operating speed of the tractor. And that was quite something else, to be planting a field, in this case at 25 miles an hour. Not very realistic. But I'm not playing totally realistic anyway, because I have a lot of this stuff turned off just to make it easier, because I don't need periodic plowing turned on to periodically plow the field, because I do that anyway. There for a long time I plowed every time, even with periodic plowing turned off. I would plow it every time. Now I've started running the cultivator instead of the plow, because the helper does not work the plow real good. I always have. I can't leave that helper unattended with the plow, or at least not with the plow I like to use. And the cultivator seems to do a much better job. All right, been live streaming for 2 hours. I kind of like to make sure the live streams are at least 2 hours. Actually, I kind of don't. I kind of like 2.5 hours to be like a minimum. I mean, it's not required, it's not necessary. But I kind of like for 2.5 hours. That's kind of like my target. Some of them I may know will be longer, and that's fine, because I always try to plan for that, to know I'm going to be live streaming for 3, 4, 5 hours. Like if I know I'm going to do the big field, for example, then I won't do it. I won't do a live stream of doing that field until I know that I want to devote that much time to it. So if I know that I'm not going to mind spending like 5 hours, 6 hours. I had one live stream that was like 5 hours and 50 minutes or something like that, 5:47 or something. So I have to know ahead of time that that's how long it's going to take me to do the one project, and that I'm okay with doing a live stream for that long. Because that means I'm up all night, and I still have things I need to do during the day the next day. Thankfully, going to work is not one of those, because I am retired. But I still have things I need to do. Now, if you happen to watch this, guys, and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I don't think myself gaining a subscriber is going to hurt an algorithm for anybody else. If you want to get into YouTube for the purpose of making money, I think that's not very easy to do. Because when you're new, I mean, YouTube does not promote you, so people kind of discover your channel purely by accident, really. Because YouTube is not going to recommend your channel. You know, I have 22 subscribers. So YouTube is not going to be recommending my channel. But I will say that I have picked up a few subscribers. How they came across my YouTube channel, I don't know. But I do appreciate that. So like I said, if you're new and you happen to come across my videos and you know you like this kind of thing, then please consider giving me a subscribe. And you can hit that like button too. I'm not really doing this to become monetized. Although I have to admit, you know, a little supplemental income on top of my Social Security, because it's very small, would be kind of cool. But that's not my that's not why I'm doing this. I really want to do this for chat. But like I said, so far I've never had two people in chat at the same time. Only one at a time. But I've had different people, but never two at the same time. And I really would like to build chat, because this is a game where I can just keep an eye on the helper while the helper's still accomplishing what we need, and I can chat with people in the chat. So I am hoping to be able to do that. It's just going to be a slow process. I don't know how long it takes. I know some people that are, you know, that have the bigger channels, they've been doing this for several years already. And I grew up in an era where my parents would say, you never make a living playing video games. But I know people who have bought houses and cars and stuff like that playing video games. And other YouTube channels with other content. So we live in a different time. Who knew? I sure didn't. I didn't know that I could make a bunch of money doing YouTube. But you have to have the right content, and As you can see, I have other videos on my channel, but I just can't make videos like the other ones consistently. Now, originally I was just going to leave this thing parked over there by that field, but I started using it because it can plant soybeans too. I started using it in other fields also where I want soybeans. So we could just leave that sit there. Let's grab this tractor over here. Let's get this one. Let's drop the cultivator. Let's do something. Let's save the game before I forget to do it. Okay. Now we will grab the tree be gone. We will grab this tree be gone right here. And we're going to drive down here and take a look at this other. Actually, I want to get rid of this tree right here too. So let's just go ahead and do it. It's got in my way a few times, so let's just get rid of it. And let's go check out some of these other trees that we want to take down. And they'll be down this road up here, down at the end, and that group of trees down there. We want to take some of those out. Now you can see this line right here. Let me take a look. I don't know what that's for. It's not for what I was thinking it was, because that's not. No, I don't know what caused that right there, that line. I guess it doesn't really matter as long as it everything got planted, which it did. But we want to, I gotta kind of just take a look down here and see what we want to do as far as the trees go. Look here. I did not notice that before. There's a section of that field right there that did not get planted. So the planter missed one. That didn't miss this over here before, the first time. So that's interesting. I'll have to pay attention to that next time. Now what I want to do is I kind of want to come like right through here. Maybe I can leave that tree. Let's see what we can do right here. Let's see. Now we can go. I have to be careful. I don't want to take all the trees out. I just want to take some of them out. Yeah, that is one of them. So let's see what we got. Sorry guys, had to talk to my daughter for a minute. I got to figure out exactly how much bigger I need to make this field. I don't want to make it a whole lot bigger. I want it to make it enough, but not too much. So I think I don't want to go too much farther in that direction with the trees anyway. I'm just wanting to take out just enough of them just enough that expanding this field will get us that extra 50,000. I have to watch where I'm at because I don't want to end up going all the way over. Okay. I don't want to go all the way over to the road. I just want to go enough to be able to get that extra $50,000 a crop. And I really should not have to go too much. I think maybe I can take this tree out. It's actually going to help us also with the helper. Now that's weird, see? There we go. I still got to back up. There's still some of that tree laying right there. There it is. Now let's see, what else do we need? I'm going to need to get this one. This one. And then this one. We'll get this one out of the way. Now I like the T-Rex. The T-Rex or the Trex, it's a T-R-E-X, Trex, but I like calling it T-Rex. It takes the trees down faster, but of course it is more expensive. Well, let me see where we're at. Yeah, see, I'm going to have plenty of trees left over there. So let me catch a couple more of these trees. I don't know why they're falling over like that instead of actually... That looks cool. That looks really cool. Wow. That was really interesting. Okay. Now let's see. Oh, there's still some of that tree laying up here. There we go. That was not that easy to get. What is that? There's more tree? Wow. Let's take this one out, this big one. Right here. We don't have a whole lot more to take out. And like I said, we don't want to take all of them. Just the ones we need to. So yeah, we got a section we got to cut straight across through here. Let's do it like this. Let's come this way, like this. We'll get this one out of the way. Okay. And then we'll come back to this one, like this, like that. Make sure we get the stump. Sometimes it'll actually leave the stump, and you kind of have to come over it again. We're going to catch this one, aren't we? Or are we? Are we hung up on something? Oh, we're just off a little bit to the edge. There we go. Okay. I think there's a little bit of a, almost like a little drop off over here. We got to be careful for that. Because I did kind of look at this area before, not real closely, but I did look at it. See, I don't think we want to take those trees right there. We want to take maybe this tree right here. We'll get that one, and then we will go get that small tree. We'll come back and get this small tree. Okay, and now we will get these trees right here, and I think that's all we're going to get. I think the other ones we can leave. So we're just going to get like this one, this one, I'm not sure why it's not cutting that tree down. There it goes. That took a little bit. Okay. Now let's see, what else do we have? We want to get, we've got a few more trees that we do need to get, but we're getting closer to having everything done that we want. So we'll get this one. We'll come down here and get this one. We'll go get this one. We'll come over here and get this one. Wow, that took that thing all the way to the ground before it disappeared. We'll get this one. And then we have, what? Just a couple more and we'll have it. Because I think that will give us a big enough expansion on our field. Oh, I just missed that tree trunk. The tree's growing just a little bit crooked. There we go. Usually I can look right at the center of that tree from up above. See, that one did the same thing. The tree's growing a little bit crooked. So I look at it at the top of it. There we go. Now I believe I think I want to take out a couple more trees. I do. I think I want to take this one right here, like that. I want to take this one right here, like that, and I want to take this one. And that will probably be all. I probably won't need to take anything more than that. because that's going to let me expand that field. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm looking at just at the come on. There we go. Let's get this one. And then let's go get this one. Let's get this one, and then that's going to be okay, because now I can come from over there. I can come around this way. Oh, look. Gosh, I'm glad I turned that camera around. I missed a couple of trees. Nope, I didn't miss a couple of trees. It's just painting them in there until you get to them. Now, see, I can go from here more straight down over towards that other edge. That still leaves me some trees on the road. Okay, so that's all we got. That's all we got right there. But it leaves trees on both sides of the road. I do not like taking all the trees out if I don't have to. So in this case, I do not have to. And then we will expand the field on our next, after our next harvest. We will expand that field and just bring it down just a little bit more. Actually, I want to take this tree right here on this corner. I want to take this tree right here out. I want to take this one. I'm going to take this one. Just so I can really get the expansion I'm looking for. I think I can leave that small one there. We'll take this one. Well, there we go. Come on. Take that one. Oh my goodness, come on. That looks better. Now I can get this little bit of curvature going the other direction. I can't get a lot of curvature in it. I don't want to go too far down off the slope of that hill right here. So that's going to be pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that, and we'll do a small expansion. Well, I am going to do one more thing. I keep telling myself that's all I want to do, but I want to do this right here. Just this one small tree. Yeah, like that. Okay. That's all I want to do. Okay, so that's got that taken care of. That's going to look nice when we get this expanded right here on this end. And I think that will give us our extra $50,000. I'm hoping it does. So I'm not going to plow it up today, guys. I'm just going to wait until after I harvest this field the next time. And see, when you look back that way, you still see that same stand of trees because we didn't take them all down. And if you drive down the road, you still have trees on both sides, which is how I like to leave it. I don't really like clearing out trees that I don't need to clear out. So that'll take care of all that. Let's see, we can put this back over here because we don't use this very often. We probably will use it some more later. We'll find some other places we need to use it, but for now, it's fine like that. We'll go hook back to our cultivator. I do want to get another tractor. That'll be our next piece of equipment that we get. I like the Valtras. I don't have a Valtra. I want to get one that's mine, purple, because that's my trademark. Oops, come on. Thank you. Okay, so that's all we're going to do for today, guys. That's going to wrap it up for this live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Let's save it. Let's save the game before we exit. We're going to save the game. And then we are going to quit. We're going to exit back out to the main menu. That's going to wrap it up for this time, guys. And I will catch you in the next one. Until then, God bless.